Bitcoin is starting to lose a little bit momentum right here, and like we have been discussing in the previous videos, we maybe see a further decline or a further correction in the Bitcoin price. In today's video, guys, we are going to have a look at the derivatives exchange data because we just get a sell signal on the Bitcoin price, and I want to share a little bit what we are seeing over on the derivatives exchanges with the traders. We are going to have a look at the Bitcoin dominance as this one is breaking down, and maybe most importantly in today's video, I really want to have a look at Ethereum against US dollar, because although this one looks kind of bearish against USD, against Bitcoin, this chart is actually looking pretty good. So I want to explain to you what this might happen. So guys, let's jump straight into it. Then guys, let's start on the daily time frame of Bitcoin. We have this this green arrow right here, which marks a 60-day cycle low. And I also had a dotted line right here because it's very important that we stay above this low. If we break below this low, which is at roughly 40,500, let's make a rough estimate of that, then we could definitely see a further drop in the Bitcoin price action. And that means that this is a failed 60-day cycle, or also known as a left translated 60-day cycle. Losing the support definitely shows us that we are going to see most likely a further correction until the next 60-day cycle low, which is right here roughly in February. So that would be kind of weird. Also with the Bitcoin ETF approval that most likely is coming on the 10th of January. So as long we are still trading above that low, I'm going to assume that Bitcoin is doing somewhat of a consolidation right here and eventually makes a continuational pattern, so we can see further rallies in the Bitcoin price after we finish this consolidation pattern. If we have a look at derivatives exchange data, guys, this image is looking honestly a little bit more bearish, because we just got a sell signal from the will algo. As you can see, normally when we get a sell signal, price tends to go a little bit lower. So I would say the chances are pretty high right now that that Bitcoin will see a little bit lower levels. This algorithm basically shows the momentum on certain time frames. So whenever this is red, the momentum is leaning to the bearish side. So there's more pressure from the sell side basically. And whenever it is green, as you can see right here, there's more buying pressure going on. So you got to see this as periods to long and short. Most of the time when we have a red period, right, that is a moment you are looking for shorts. But of course, in a bull market, it is very discussable if you want to look for shorts anyway. It's maybe better to just wait till this resolves, wait until you get a new green one, and then just try and look for longs. The funding rates right now are pretty high. They're actually as high, most likely as high as they have ever been this year. So that is something that can be a warning sign right here. And of course, if you want to check for nice entries you can also use this algo in the short-term time frame. So right here we get a sell signal, Bitcoin drops. Here we get a buy signal, Bitcoin also goes a little bit lower. So it's not like always straight to the point, and you shouldn't use this indicator like only as buy or sell. Although we did a back test, and if you would buy and sell, or if you would buy only on the 4-hour time frames, you would be profitable and you would have outperformed Bitcoin. We back tested this indicator basically, but this is just helping to show you where momentum is going, right? You shouldn't basically open long positions when we have, for example, a red arrow, right? But it really depends also on the time frame. If you want to scalp, so right now we get just like a green signal on the 5-minute time frame. So maybe in the shorter term time frame, and maybe today the prices can go up a little bit, So it really depends on which time frame you're watching. But if we get a sell signal on the 4-hour time frame, it definitely shows us that the momentum right here is definitely leading a little bit more to the bearish side. But always important, like I said, to combine this with different metrics like derivatives exchange data, but maybe also RSI or momentum indicators that are very important. Now let's go to the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin. What do we see right here? Well, here, this image actually looks a little bit more bullish. Why? Because here we can already see that the relative strength index retraced pretty hard. Like, it came down pretty hard compared to the price action right here. So that is something you want to see in a bull market. You want to see that relative strength index really coming down to lower levels, and maybe do something like, form some higher lows and going slightly into an uptrend. And we can see that the momentum is also going up. So in the shorter term time frame, Bitcoin already start to look a little bit better, except for the derivatives exchange picture, where we have kind of like very high funding rates, right? But guys, if we go to the Bitcoin dominance, and this is very interesting, the Bitcoin dominance just broke a, let me get rid of the indicators right here, just broke a very important support level that has been created since November 2022. So the Bitcoin dominance has been in an uptrend, but right now it's breaking down. And we are somewhat at a support level right now, but this definitely shows that most likely the trend will slightly shift, in general, that more and more liquidity from Bitcoin will flow into altcoins. And we can see that already in a lot of altcoins, because a lot of altcoins start to do good against Bitcoin. And the altcoin that I want to have a look at in today's video, which I think is most important right now, which might be one of the next altcoins that could really pop off, is Ethereum. So guys, let's jump in Ethereum. And yeah, if you are new to the channel, guys, and you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, drop a thumbs up. It's very much appreciated. And we can start off with Bitcoin in US dollar terms. And Bitcoin against US dollar actually looks like very similar to Bitcoin. We have momentum coming up. A relative strength index shorter term time frame has retraced pretty hard. So 4-hour time frame, I would say it is not looking too bad. But also right here, if we change this chart to Ethereum and we go to we are already at the 4-hour time frame. There were times that we actually had higher funding rates. So Ethereum has basically a lower funding rate than Bitcoin, which sketches also a little bit a better picture in terms of derivatives exchange data. But this is not the most bullish picture you want to have with derivatives exchange data. So if we scroll back, let me just share with you guys, for example, right here. So just to give you some insights, here we can see Ethereum like trending up. We get a green dot right here after moving sideways. Then it's becoming also more powerful. We have negative funding and declining funding, even going negative. We have a negative premium, and we have the take buy sell ratio pretty obvious above the middle blue line, which means that buying is more present in the market. So if you look at this derivatives exchange picture, it's definitely more bullish, right? If you look at this derivatives exchange picture, it's kind of the opposite, right? We have very high funding, we have a high premium, positive high premium, which means prices being led by derivatives exchanges, and we have the take buy sell ratio going below the blue. So it's actually the opposite of what we are seeing right here. So in terms of US dollars, I'm not that bullish right now. And we also have been talking about a correction already when Bitcoin peaked right here. However, I also don't want to take too much profits on my hodl bags, because the Bitcoin ETF hasn't been approved, and maybe this is just a sideways consolidation before we are going higher. That's why this low is also so important. But then comes the most important chart for me personally, and that is Ethereum against Bitcoin. As you guys know, I've actually put a big chunk of my Bitcoin into Ethereum exactly at this low. We shared that over on the Will Alerts, the private Telegram channel, where you basically can receive extra information on the markets. That trade is up right now roughly 4 to 5%, and that doesn't sound so much, but if you go with a couple of Bitcoin, you flip that to Ethereum, then 4 or 5% is actually pretty good, because if you flip it back to Bitcoin, you actually can gain a lot of Bitcoin by that. And also the good part right here is we might be at the edge of a breakout right here to the upside, which would be very, very bullish for Ethereum against Bitcoin. And that still could mean that both of them could go down slightly in US dollar, but that Bitcoin just go down like harder in US dollar. So we don't really know how that looks. But yeah, I think this picture is looking very beautiful. We can see the momentum coming up on the daily time frame right here. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. We can see the momentum coming up right here as well. We had a kind of a breakout in the relative strength index already. We did come down a little bit into that pattern again. So these breakouts on the relative strength index, you gotta take them a little bit, you gotta play a little bit with them. Don't be too strict on the levels like if you would be in the chart. This looks like a breakout to me. We can see that this indicator also put in higher lows. Generally that is pretty bullish, because this indicator also shows kind of the momentum right here. So here we can also see when this yellow is putting higher lows, then eventually we also see a nice breakout to the upside. So that is something that I'm watching as well. We are still trading within that falling wedge formation, so we haven't seen a breakout in the price yet. I hope that it comes very, very soon, and that we can see a nice rally from Ethereum against Bitcoin. And we have seen already a very long time bleed, and yeah, here also on the daily time frame, the relative strength index has some bullish divergences, momentum coming up. It just looks like a beautiful setup, honestly, to me, where we can see definitely maybe going even to the resistance, make a 10 to 30% profit, maybe even go to the top of this range with a 25% profit. Also, the sentiment right now on Ethereum is very negative, so definitely something I'm checking out right here. And I actually already took the trade, already shared that over on Will Alerts, also shared that over on the channel. If you like that, make sure to leave a thumbs up. And I'm expecting to have like kind of an explosive move with Ethereum. Maybe not that explosive as we have right here, although you never know, but just like really some explosive move, like a real bounce after such a long time of bleeding against Bitcoin. I think this is definitely the time for Ethereum where we can see that bounce, where we can actually see from the levels right here still a 13 to 25% gain. That would be absolutely beautiful, maybe even higher. That would be kind of crazy. But okay guys, that was it for today's video. First of all guys, let me say I hope every single one of you had a beautiful Christmas. Let me know in the comment section what you did for Christmas. I'm just curious to read your stories today. That would be really, really awesome. If you haven't dropped a thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated. If you are new, make sure to subscribe down below. And guys, I would urge every single one of you to go to my channel and to have a look at all the tutorials that I made. I made a couple of playlists. You can see them on the side of the screen here as well. About Bybit tutorials, where I basically explain everything about Bybit. I'm explaining you how you can escape fees, like pretty harsh, like a pretty nice secret in Bybit, how to escape fees. I'm sharing with you some copy trading secrets, how you can minimize your risk on copy trading, how you can set up trading bots, how you can connect TradingView to Bybit to automate certain trading strategies. Guys, there are so many possibilities, and even though you're not using all of these possibilities, it's very good for you to know about that. So I would urge every single one of you to go to my channel, page, scroll down and look at all of these Bybit tutorials. And if you have any questions about them, just drop them in the comments below that specific video, and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. But definitely I put a lot of time and effort into these videos, and I think everyone from the community should definitely have a look at that. Because even though simple things like copy trading, I do share nice tips in there that can really minimize risk, which you might not have heard before, or which you might not have think about before. Right? Because copy trading, it might sound easy, I just copy, but there are certain ways where you can minimize risk. So yeah, definitely recommend every single one of you to check that out. Yeah guys, like I said, I hope you had an awesome Christmas, and I hope to see every single one of you in the next video. Bye bye.